So I'm Jared Heenick. This is my wife, Sarah Heenick. We are live in Andover, Kansas, which is just outside of Wichita, and we are the adoptive parents of Addie and Aubrey.
I was born here in Wichita. He was born in Kansas City, so we met at K-State when we were in college. Yes, go Cat. So we met when I was a sophomore and you were a junior, I think.
Vice versa.
Vice versa. He's a junior, I was a sophomore.
Yeah.
And then we moved back to Wichita and got married after that. And he's in construction and I was a teacher for 8 years, kindergarten, but now I stay home.
And then, we actually fostered Addie and Aubrey in April of 2017.
And when I was younger, I always had the desire to adopt. And then our first call was, we got 2 girls and they're probably gonna be up for adoption. And we couldn't say no. So we took them and they were our only placement we've ever had.
It was like jumping into a freezing pond. It's an eye opener. It's kind of crazy, young like that, and come home with 2 girls. And the first night we actually had them, Sarah had to go make a grocery run because we were like, we don't have any juice or snacks or like
shampoo.
We don't have any kids stuff. And I mean, we had some toys and some beds and stuff, obviously, but
where's the instruction manual? What am I supposed to be doing?
Yeah,
for sure. I can't explain how many days and hours after they went to bed I spent reading about trauma and the way it affects your brain and the way that you should parent kids that have gone through trauma. And I would say that was like my number one piece of advice for foster parents, is that every kid that is in the foster care system has gone through trauma. And so you're learning how to parent those kiddos is like just totally different than what you would ever think. And I always see on social media is that like we'll never get our kids to behave better by making them feel worse. And that's something that we've had to learn to advocate for the schools and anywhere and everywhere, our families and us, to remind ourselves how to parent. We're not shaming them, and constant negative redirection isn't going to work.
Even after all of the incidents, you still just wanted a hug from them.
Yeah.
And that was always reciprocated. They just want a hug from you. So even when tempers or I guess everyone's sense of anger, whatever you want to call it, it calmed down. It just, we're just a family. With the stigma, making sure that people understand that, just because they didn't come from, or they weren't raised how you were raised, and just getting people to understand that, there's a lot of people that do have a lot of adversities, and seeing some of that in public, some people just go, that kid's just being a little crap,
Yeah.
But it's like, there's usually a lot more to it than just what you see, and having people just keep an open mind and not just automatically assume that somebody is soft parenting, somebody's too hard. I mean, it's just having an open mind and not trying not to let that image in your head kind of drive what you think.
That adds another layer, is having a biological child now thrown into the mix, and her needs are different than our older girls' needs. And so I think that's one thing we learned too, is we parent all 3 of our girls totally different. They all have different needs, and so one size doesn't fit all. What one child perceives that she's being away with and one child doesn't. It's just meeting their needs at that time. And so parenting the toddler and biological, so she doesn't have some of the obstacles that she has to overcome as the older 2. And so learning how to parent all 3 of them differently has been a challenge.
So for me, it's an extremely rewarding process. It truly is. The highs of the highs and the lows of the lows. I mean, you cry together, you laugh together. I mean, it's a journey. Being able to learn what we've learned, and being able to, I guess, spread the knowledge of what we've learned, whether it's with coworkers, friends, family, being able to have a bunch of firsts with the girls. Like, we went to Disney World. That's like one of our most favorite trips ever, was going to Disney World and just seeing the girls' face light up with pure excitement and joy, and it just really fills your bucket, I guess, in the words of a teacher.
Yeah, it is totally rewarding. And I don't mean this in like a material way, but to be able to give them the life that they're able to have. I don't mean as much as Disney World was fun. I love that was a great trip and like one of the ones that we'll think back with fond memories. The amount of love that not even just we've been able to give them, but like they have a whole family, you know, like an extended family, grandparents and cousins and aunts and uncles, and to be able, knowing that we gave them that and that they have so much love in their life, I think has been one of the best things that we could do. And I would say for people that are considering this too, I think parenting kiddos that have gone through trauma brings out it can bring out a lot of things about yourself that you didn't realize. And so there's behaviors that trigger you that you never thought would trigger you. And so I think not taking things personally and seeking therapy yourself to figure out why things are affecting you the way you are, and then it betters your parenting.
I would definitely say if this is something you're seriously considering, definitely be open-minded. I would say do your research on trauma. A lot of these kids do a lot of really weird and interesting things, but it's not because they want to get back at you. Sometimes it's just because they have a feeling that they're feeling and they don't know how to tell you. And, you know, when they do that thing, whatever it is, you know, in the moment, you're just like, why did you do that? Why did you do? And be able to learn, and then also be their advocate.